Welcome to the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks Show, a series designed to give you insight into the world of self-publishing and marketing your books. Featuring your hosts, Shannon, the author behind the pen name SC Huston, Ben Pick, and Morgan Lee. Join us several times each month when we interview authors about their self-publishing and marketing journeys, talk to industry leaders, and discuss books about writing, self-publishing, and marketing. Also stay tuned for the best self-publishing tip or trick of the week. Hello and welcome. I'm Shannon, writing under the pen name of SC Huston, and I'm the host of this week's self-publishing tip or trick of the week. Some updates first. I recently finished the prequel novella, a fantasy romance, which is called The Sunstone and the Hybrid Prince. It came in at 27,300 words, and I'm proud of how it turned out, and I think it's definitely worth the price of $2.99, although right now you can get it for $1 on Indiegogo while I'm still fulfilling my Kickstarter campaign. If you'd like to get a copy of that, you can find the link in the description box below or in the show notes. Now let's get into this week's self-publishing tip or trick of the week. This week I want to talk about BookBub and why this is an important tip that actually applies to both self-published writers and traditionally published writers. And this actually wasn't the tip I had planned for this week, but I had something big happen with my BookBub account, and when I questioned the changes, I felt that the answer might be important for others to know, especially if they're seeing the same thing happening or to be aware that this could happen. So first, for those who are not familiar with what BookBub is and why it's important, is that it is a platform that helps readers discover books through unbeatable deals, personalized recommendations, and updates from their favorite authors. There's actually no books directly sold on BookBub, but it is a great place to gain exposure, and it actually has reviews, sort of like Goodreads, but it's a little more upscale than Goodreads. And authors can also run ads on BookBub to promote their books. You may have heard of BookBub's ultra-competitive ebook deals, where they're really hard to get, but they're kind of like the holy grail of, getting your book in front of many readers and getting lots of sales. And I think this is what a lot of authors may know about BookBub, even though they also do have ads. But there are a couple other things that BookBub offers authors that may not be as well known, and one of them is absolutely free, so it makes it worth it to get your platform on BookBub. And it also helps to grow your following there. If you haven't already, you first need to create your partner account with BookBub so that you can have access to your partner dashboard. This is where you can do all the things, whether they're the ads or apply for a BookBub deal, which is that holy grail I was just talking about. But here you can also finish setting up your account by claiming your author profile. Does that mean you have to be published already? Well, sort of. So I created my author account and claimed my profile when my very first book was just in its pre-launch stage, and this was in July of 2021, which it didn't publish until November of 2021. Once your identity is verified and you've confirmed your profile, then you can list all of your books on the BookBub website and start growing your following. That's the key point here, is growing your following. This is what I think is the most important thing to do. But why? News release alerts and pre-order alerts. First, and the most important to me, are the new release alerts, because these are actually absolutely free. This is a free service that automatically emails your new release details to your eligible BookBub followers. Now, to qualify, you simply have to add your ebook to your BookBub author profile before or within 7 days after its release. The alert goes out automatically, and it includes the cover art, a description, and retailer links. So it's great exposure to launch a new book, and it's free. There is one caveat here, and that is the new release alerts. They only go to your US followers. You can see the total number of BookBub followers you have on the author profile page of your partner dashboard, and also how many would get the new release alert. And they also send you a confirmation email that will tell you how many of those readers actually did receive your alert. And since this represents a portion of your total followers, it's normal for your eligible follower number to be much lower than your total follower count on your author page. I can vouch for this personally, as I've had all 3 of my books in my trilogy had a new release alert that went out on them, and I got the email that was a confirmation that the new release alert went out to my eligible followers. The second part of this are pre-order alerts, and this is not something I have hit the threshold for yet, because you have to have 1,000 US based followers. You also have to pay to send this, but it costs 2 cents per follower that you are sending it to, and it alerts your fans about an upcoming release that they can pre-order, and it's a great way to boost launch sales. So now let's look at growing your BookBub followers, and I have one really good tip that is working for me, and I also have some ideas to consider. First, don't do what I did in the beginning, and that is don't hire companies that offer BookBub builders. I did this. I hired a company that did several BookBub builders, and they offered this as a service, and they actually claimed to me in an email that I needed 1,000 followers for that new release alert. which was completely false. BookBub sends that alert to all of your eligible followers, no matter the size. I also found out later that many of the followers I paid for were international and not US based, which meant that they did not get my new release alert. Didn't know this though until I was completely baffled when my confirmation email said that only like 252 of my 700 plus followers were getting my new release alert. It turned out the company has spammed me by inflating my follower count with international followers, which of course was useless for those US alerts. I trusted the woman who ran this company, which meant that I spent a lot of money on her builders to grow my BookBub followers when I didn't need to. And I will include a direct link to BookBub's website so you can now see that I've done my homework. So don't make my mistake that any BookBub builders that you come across ensure that they provide real eligible US followers. And I would strongly suggest building your following organically as much as possible. And so let me share with you what I've done. Just 2 months ago, I started an email sequence to organically grow my BookBub following from my author newsletter. And I explained the benefits of BookBub to my subscribers and I asked them to follow me there. I also made sure I included all the links they needed to get their own account if they didn't have one and the link to my profile so they could follow that directly and follow me. This idea actually came from Andrea Pearson, who was one of the co-hosts of Six Figure Authors. And since starting this sequence in August, my follower growth has actually doubled in size compared to the rest of this year. So it was working really great until suddenly my numbers dropped by more than 70 followers. I contacted BookBub and I asked them what was going on because I know that subscriber counts always fluctuate up and down, but 70 was a large number to lose. And they responded. Let me share with you what they said. They recently made some changes to the way they displayed BookBub follower counts across their platform, and they now exclude inactive followers from totals to reflect active followers. I suspect that many of the phony international followers from the builders I used were part of the 70 followers that I lost. But I'm fine with losing those followers because, if not the wasted money, at least I don't have followers who weren't really interested in my work anyways. So beware, don't make the mistake I did by hiring a shady company to build your followers. Try to do it organically. This part in the email sequence is working for me, but there are some other organic ways that I am recommending that I am going to be trying, which is make following requests on social media and in my author bio, add a call to action on my website, and then update my book back matter with an appeal for readers to follow me on BookBub. So tip of the week, start your BookBub account if you haven't already, and organically build your BookBub followers to maximize the reach of your free new release alerts. Thanks for listening to this week's self-publishing tip or trick, and we'll have another tip for you next week. Thank you so much to our incredible listeners and viewers for joining us on our exploration of everything self-publishing. We hope you found our podcast to be a treasure trove of insights and inspiration. If you've enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform or thanks on our YouTube episodes. Don't forget, you can catch all of our past episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and other major podcast platforms. And if you'd like to connect with us, drop us a line at selfpublishingtipstricks@gmail.com. Keep writing, keep publishing, and we'll see you next time.